I'm going to build a Sawmill trailer for the sawmill that we bought. You can buy the trailers from the company, but they're really expensive, and I thought I could build one, so.
Today is a very exciting day because James and I just went to Ohio and picked up metal that we got for a really cheap price. He just shut the door in my face. Oh gosh, he tries to be funny. Anyway, so I'll show you the metal that we picked up.
Here's one piece.
Oh, you already got one out?
Yep.
What kind of metal is that?
It's just angle iron.
This is the metal we picked up. They're so long we had to actually take the trailer with us. How many feet of metal did we get?
I think we got 110 foot of angle iron.
Nice.
This is 3" by 3" by 1/4" angle iron.
So what's first on the project? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna have to get all this in the garage, which is gonna be really hard because it's super heavy. I've never built a trailer before either, so typically I don't think you're supposed to use angle iron. I think you're supposed to use some sort of channel or tubing, but this was available to us, and I think I got plenty to make it as rigid as I need, so.
Our local metal company wanted $800 for 40 feet of metal, but we got 110 feet of metal for only $200 because we bought it off of a friend who does metal fabrication. So shop around. What are you cutting first?
I'm just cutting the main frames. I've already cut this at 232 inches. That'll be the length of the main frame.
Okay.
And then I got all the cross members that are gonna be 30.5, which is the same width as the track at the mill.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing because I'm trying to keep the baby from crying. If the camera is shaking in the videos, that's why.
We got it laid out here. We still got a bunch more cross members to cut, but we want to go ahead and at least tack the ends together. Yeah, I'll just get everything tacked up first, and then I'll have just a couple hours of nothing but welds.
And done. All four corners are tacked together.
I cut the notches here so it'll actually fit inside the angle iron. I did that because the weight of the mill is going to be sitting on this part. This is what it'll bolt into, and I wanted that weight sitting on that angle.
Okay.
So there's probably a lot of other ways, probably better ways to do this, but you know, I'm an amateur. First trailer I've ever built.
I think it looks good. It makes sense to me.
These 6 angle iron pieces cut to 30.5 inches. Got some here, so now I have to cut the notches out of them so I can then set them inside the frame.
All the pieces are cut, and we just set them in there temporarily. We need to actually space them out correctly.
So the next thing I got to do is take measurements and make marks where I'm going to be welding these into place.
Okay.
But I also have to completely level this thing before I start welding. So I don't have to worry about leveling it this way, but I want to make sure this way is level because if there's any twists in the angle iron, it'll show once I'm finished.
Okay.
This will be so much easier if we can try to flip it over. So it's pretty heavy already. It'd just be easier to weld on, to take measurements. It'd just make my life a lot easier, and then I think we can flip it over now, but it's gonna be really hard to flip it back once we have the axle on, so.
Okay, but everything's welded on, right?
Everything's welded on, the two end pieces. I need to do some more welding. I didn't want to weld up next to my concrete, so
Okay.
when we flip it, we'll try not to grab the end pieces just in case those break off. We're going to tack weld these pieces in here. Cleaning up these welds, because I'll eventually put a continuous bead. We're just doing this to make sure we don't have mistakes first.
Okay, and that's where this is gonna go.
Yep. Just like that.
Okay, I can see how it comes together now. This makes sense. Just tack welded them on. He's got the 4 spring hangers on, like this, and he's got the springs bolted to him. Now he's working on cutting the axle down so it's the correct length. Got it all smoothed down. Now we're gonna put the axle together. So we've got these things. Both sides are fastened. Now this is where we cut this. It was too long, so James had to cut a hunk out of the middle. So now we're gonna weld it back together so that it's the correct length. Now he's just trying to prop it up to get these pieces perfectly level so that he can weld them back together.
All right, well, we like the way everything's set, so we're gonna go ahead and start welding everything up. Everything that we tack welded, we're gonna put a bead of weld. So then we're gonna get that thing flipped back over and we'll put the axle on it.
Everything is welded on and it's ready to be flipped back over. Look at everything he got done while I was feeding the baby. He did this by himself. He got it lifted up, he got it jacked up, and he put these on either side. Looks good.
Wow, Dad.
Success. We're walking on it to test out the stability. Doesn't seem to be flexing at all.
We're gonna continue doing some welding stuff that I just haven't welded yet. All these seams on each outside, I was gonna go ahead and put a bead of weld on that. We've got the tires on here. We only had to buy one new. I had this sitting in the barn. I am gonna get some spacers. I got it a little close right here. That tire is actually offset, so that's good. It got a good distance, but I'm gonna put a spacer on this one, on the hub. So we're just gonna continue to weld a little bit here and there, and eventually it'll come together. I'm not a professional welder, so if you're watching this video and you're a professional, you're gonna have to deal with it. We got our jacks in the mail today, and they were actually the wrong sizes. So they had a measurement online that they showed me, and the measurements don't match this, so we have to do a little finagling. But this is the jack. These are pretty nice jacks.
How much did they cost a piece?
I think they were $38 or $40 a piece or something like that. But
We'll put
so,
the link in the description for
solution-
these.
The solution was to add this little boxed in piece here. We had them made up before and we ended up not using them, so now we found a good use for them. So this will slide right on there, just like so, and you can actually pin it in place like this.
Oh, okay. That's smart. Pull that back off so I can see the box. So you made that?
Yeah, just
box.
out of angle. Yeah, just made a square tube.
So now you're just welding it all together and welding on?
Yep.
All right, good. Everything is welded and all the jacks are on. Here's what they look like. So we got the trailer repositioned in the garage here. And James is over here welding, I'm not sure what. He made this tube out of 2 pieces of angle iron. What's the tube for?
The tongue of the trailer.
Okay. Getting the tongue set in place. There's James's leg. This is welded on, but it's not finished yet. Got a weld here and a weld there. But he still has to put another cross piece here that he's gonna weld on to stabilize it and make it stronger. But it's getting close. It's looking good. So we got the piece of metal cut and set in there. There was a change in plan and the design. Instead of putting it across here, we ended up putting it underneath there. And you can see where it's added in there.
I'm gonna add something in here, sturdy this up, give this something a little more surface area to weld on. I don't know how I'm gonna do it just yet.
This is the piece of angle iron that he added to the trailer and welded in place. It works! Okay, so since the trailer's done, it's now time to paint it. I'm gonna be painting it black. This right here is the paint that I got from Tractor Supply. I think I gave 30, 35 bucks for it, so hopefully that's enough to do the whole trailer, which it should be because it's a gallon. So I'm gonna get started on the back of the trailer and work my way forward. Painting is done and it looks fantastic. It's actually the next day. I just had this small section from yesterday that I just finished now, so it's still wet. But over here, all of this stuff that I did, it's really nice how it dried. It's really sturdy. And it did take a good 12 hours to dry, but it is nice. I do want to add that this paint was really easy to work with. It went on smoothly and we did not have to add hardener to the paint. I also only had to apply 1 coat, which was really nice. We got the trailer out on the quad and we're putting on the finishing touches just with a few small touch-ups of paint.
I installed the trailer jack.
Oh,
Make it a little easier to move it around too. This sucker's pretty heavy.
nice. Cool. He's got the jacks down too. So
Yeah,
the
I got
tires
it.
are up off the ground.
I got it completely leveled.
Nice.
This is the trailer with the mill on it. Everything ended up working out perfectly. All I did was went by the prints that Woodland Mills provided me, all the measurements that they gave me. This worked out great. I wouldn't change anything about the trailer. Took us 5 minutes to level everything out here in the yard, and we've already been cutting on it. It works great.
It's excellent. And the next video will be us actually unboxing the Woodland Mills Sawmill. Look at him go. And putting it together on the trailer and showing you how to do all that. But the trailer turned out perfect. We've been sawing logs and it's great. And when I get around to making the next video about the sawmill and showing you guys how we use it on the trailer, I'll put that link in the description below. Say bye.